Hey everyone, my name is Chloe, and today I'm here to do my July in and out. So if you've not seen one of these videos, what I do is tell you everything that I unhauled for the month, as well as everything that I hauled for the month. And I used to do this where I would keep like number stats of how many books were unread on my shelves and how many I was taking off versus how many I was putting back on in an attempt to unhaul or move more to my read shelf than I am bringing in. However, this year in general, that has not been the case. And today I'm unhauling 2 and hauling many, many more. I did read off my shelves this month, but I have not been doing like the numbers to actually compare. And let me know if you guys missed that, because I'm kind of thinking that might give me some accountability. However, everything I bought this month has been either book of the month, little free libraries that I have like traded books for, or our library bookstore. And our library bookstore is $1 for paperback, $2 for hardback, and I don't feel bad about supporting them. So I don't really, like, yes, my hauls are kind of out of control lately. Yes, my shelves are flooded, overwhelmed, really full. Somebody actually called this happy chaos, and I love that so much. But otherwise I don't really see a problem with it. So yeah, I'm also 28 weeks pregnant and having a lot of anxiety. And so these, like, retail therapy, I feel like $1 a book or little free library trips are a great way to make me feel better. So I don't really see a problem with this, but I do kind of want to keep the numbers for accountability and just because it's kind of fun to know. So let me know if you're interested in seeing that. I don't know if or when I'll do it, but let me know. So let's talk about the 2 that I'm unhauling. Tell No One by Harlan Coben. This was just a mediocre thriller that was a little too convoluted, a little too many characters, and too many crazy storylines for me, so I'm going to let this go. And Sisters 1, 2, 3 by Nancy Starr. So both of these I read, I think for my July book haul revisit, which you will either, it's coming out this week too, so you will have either already seen it or you will see it next. So all of these have been read, and yeah, I'm going to let them go because I didn't love them. So now let's get into the haul. And it's a lot, you guys. It's a lot. I'm going to do the middle grade first and then the adult books. And I will have time, like the time where I start talking about the adults in case you don't care about middle grade. But let's just get into it. So like I said, all of these have been either our library bookstore or mostly actually have been little free libraries because we just have a ton of middle grade books that we have duplicates of, things like that. So we have a box in our car that is both middle grade and adult, but it's our little free library box. And anytime we're in like a new area of town, we go to like little free library hunting. And we have 2 schools near us that have little free libraries. And so the middle grade is awesome. So the first 3 are all a part of the Humphrey series. We have not even started this series, but I've heard great things. So we have School Days according to Humphrey, Imagination according to Humphrey, and Winter according to Humphrey. If you guys have read this, let me know, because it's about a class pet who's a hamster and everything. Like, I don't know if it's from his perspective or what, but they're pretty, like, they're definitely ones that we would probably read together at this point, but I am excited to try them. So, and I know there's a ton of books, so let me know if you've read these. Then we have another kind of beloved series. We have Sideways Stories from Wayside School. I remember reading Wayside School when I was a kid, and we have a lot of these, but not all of these, and they're just kind of funny stories, so got that one. Then 26 Fairmont Avenue by Tommy DePaula. So this was a Newbery Honor. I can't remember what year, but I actually have had this out from the library for a while, and we just weren't getting to it. So I found this copy for $1 at the library. Why not? Then we have Kizzy Ann Stamps by Jerry Watts. I'm not sure. This is about a girl who's starting a new school. It's an integrated public school, and she's worried about it. She's worried of being, discriminated against, and she has a scar on her face, and now she has her dog and everything. I don't know. A girl and her dog. My girls are very into dogs right now, so I thought this would be sweet. Then we have The Moffats, which I think is kind of a classic by Eleanor Estes. This is a Newbery Medal winning author and the 60th anniversary. So I really have found that, like, kind of classics, while they're not always great, like sometimes they are more wholesome and a little more fun for the girls to read right now. So I got this. Then we've got The Trumpet of the Swan by E.B. White. We're reading Stuart Little right now, and I'm kind of in the mood to like collect all the E.B. Whites. So here we go. Then we have 2 from the Magic Treehouse series. So Magic Treehouse has a ton of books, and we have like the first 40. And then they have these research guides. And so I've seen a lot of homeschoolers do things that are just like so elaborate and so fun, like about history using the Magic Treehouse books. And I think that's something my kids would really like. So we have dinosaurs and then rainforests. I know the dinosaur one is number 1. I'm not sure about this one here, but they're really factual, really fun, really good learning opportunities. So there we go. Then we have W. Bruce Cameron, Lily's Story. So W. Bruce Cameron always writes even adult books from dog perspectives, but this is a rescue dog to the rescue, a puppy tale. So this is I think more of a middle grade, although it's very, it's not like an early middle grade. It's just a regular middle grade. But again, my girls and their dogs. So we have that. And then the Nubby's Story, the true story of how one special dog beat the odds. Then my daughter found an Owl Diaries book. These are so fun for early elementary students. They are Owl Diaries. There's Unicorn Diaries, and she loves these books. And we have the first 3 or 4. This is number 6, and so and this is in like pristine condition. So we always check Little Free Libraries for these. Then we have A Long Walk to Water. I've heard so many good things about this, so I wanted this one. This is about an 11-year-old girl or 11-year-old boy forced to flee his village when it comes under attack. Braving every imaginable hardship, including killer lions and hungry crocodiles, he's one of the lost boys traveling the African continent on foot in search of his family and safety. So, and then I think it's also about a girl who goes to the pond to fetch water, and the 2 stories collide, I think. It's both set in Sudan, one in 2008, one in 1985. So I have heard great things, I think, from Krista from Books and Jam, so I got this. Then, like I said, classics, Heidi. I want to read this. I've never read this. I have always liked the name Heidi, and it's kind of gotten poo-pooed by a couple of people in my family, but we'll see. I kind of like the name. I want to read the story. There you go. Then we have some books that I've read that I actually got on Thrift Books, so I lied about where my source is, but Fractions Equal Trouble by Claudia Mills, which we loved. This is about a boy struggling with fractions and getting a tutor and struggling with like what that means for him socially, and it's really good. Then another one kind of in that series is 7 times 9 equals Trouble. These are both companion books. Well, actually, they're companion books, but they are about the same kid, and this is about the same kid having a problem with multiplication, and it's just so good. And like my kids were really inspired. Well, my 6-year-old was really inspired to like do math after reading these, so I'm counting it as a win. Then we have 2 of the Franklin School Friends books, and now I bought these 2 not because these were necessarily our favorite. They were just the cheapest on Thrift Books. So we got Kelsey Green, Reading Queen, which was one of our favorites, about a reading contest and her like love and obsession with reading, which motivated us all to read so much more. And then Cody Harmon, King of Pets. He is the kid who's not really good at anything. He is not very smart, and yet he has a bunch of pets. There's a pet show. Again, this is one of my girls' favorites, so there's that. Then a Dear America book that I didn't think we had, The Winter of Red Snow. I might be wrong about this. If so, I'll just go ahead and put it on Pango or put it in our little free library box. But I don't think we've had this one. And these are another great way of teaching history, but also just like bringing history to life. Then we have, this is a Stepping Stones book, which I've heard a lot about these. These are like a very, but a simplified version of classics, and Little Women is one of my favorites. So like you guys have probably seen, I'm trying to get my daughter into Anna Green Gables, into like the graphic picture book novel, graphic novel things. And so I'm wondering if she'll like this better. Then we have Ginger Pie, another one by Eleanor Estes. So this is one of her Newbery Medal winners, I think. Newbery Medal. So Ginger Pie, don't know anything about it. I honestly got it because I like the Newbery books. I'm interested in reading them all because when I was a kid, I had to either read a Newbery book or a William Allen White Award winner. I don't know. Is that a Kansas thing? William Allen White? I'm not sure. But meet the marvelous Pies. There's Mrs. Pie, the youngest mother in town. Mr. Pie, a famous bird man who handles all the nation's important bird problems. Rachel Pie, who's so reasonable she can make unreasonable ideas sound like good ones. Jerry Pie, who knows about rocks of all sorts. Uncle Benny, who is Jerry and Rachel's uncle, even though he's only 3 years old. And Ginger Pie, the dog. So I think it sounds really fun. Then we do a summer reading challenge, and my kids each got to pick a free book for that, and these are what they picked. Call It Courage, and this is a story of a boy who's been afraid of the sea. His father's a great chief of Hikiro, an island whose seafaring people worship courage, and he feels like an outsider. He's really scared, and then he conquers his fears. And my oldest actually picked this, and the font is pretty tiny. I don't know why she picked this, but she said this sounds like a great book. So there you go. And then my middle child, my 4-year-old, she picked Dr. Floss is the Boss. I've never read any of these. My weird school, I don't think we've read any of these, but this is definitely something my 6-year-old can maybe read to her. So that's fun. Then I haven't read these books, but I am trying to collect books that we can read, and then I've been calling it book club. So we read a chapter of Stuart Little right now, and my daughter has to do a little writing about it, and then at the end we're going to watch the movie and have a big party. So I got The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum, but they also had the whole series. So they had The Wizard of Oz, well, I don't know if this is the whole series, The Marvelous Land of Oz and Ozma of Oz. I didn't know this continued. I've heard the actual story is pretty dark. So I don't know. This is definitely one that I'll pre-read. This does not look like the Dorothy you see all the time. But as Kansans, I feel like it's my duty to let them know about the story of the Wizard of Oz. So at some point, we will be reading at least one of these. But they are thick. They're thick. But they've got pictures. Yeah, this will be fun. And for $1 each, I'll take it. So there's that. And then another one that we've read recently is Mr. Popper's Penguins. They really liked it, so I figured a copy for our shelf will be good. And then Jacqueline Woodson, who I will buy almost anything by, Feathers. This is about a poem that Franny is reading in school, is all about hope, but Franny hasn't thought much about hope lately. After all, there's so many other things to think about. Her friend, who seems to get more holy each day, the class bully, the new kid, Jesus boy, who looks white even though he says he's not. Who is he? As winter goes on, bringing with it surprises both good and bad, the idea of hope stays with Franny, and she begins to see things in a new light. She starts to understand her brother's deafness, her mother's fear, Samantha's faith, Trevor's anger, and most importantly, her own desire for the thing with feathers. So this is set in the early 70s. I'm not really sure, but hope is the thing with feathers is an Emily Dickinson quote. So we'll see. Then we've got an Arthur chapter book. So Buster Baxter, Cat Saver. I like being able to have these stories and watch the show. So there's that. Then we have Ready Freddy. We have some Ready Freddys, but this was the reading race. I think if this is anything like Kelsey Green Reading Queen and the way it motivated us to read, it'll be a fun one. So we will just add this to our Ready Freddy collection. And then also Berenstain Bears chapter books. We have The Big Date and Bear Scouts Ice Monster. After Frozen, my kids are terrified of ice monsters, and so I don't know if they'll actually like this, but yeah, I think it's fun. They grew up they read the Berenstain Bears, and we still read the Berenstain Bears, and so these chapter books are a fun way for my daughter to get more of the story. And then last, you guys have not heard I have not stopped talking about Anna Hibiscus, so I bought the full box set. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we have read the first 5. So Anna Hibiscus is a little girl who lives in Africa, and it's so good. It's so good. These stories are so relatable, yet it also teaches us about Nigerian culture, and they're so good. And they're quick. They're easy to read. This is something my daughter can read by herself, but we also enjoy reading them together. Highly, highly recommend this series. So that's all the middle grade stuff. Now let's get to the adult. Okay, these are in no particular order at all. My desk is full, so I've got these in my lap. Let's just start going through them. So we have Who Loves You Best by Tess Stimson. Let's see. This one is about an unforgettable story about the complex choices women make for love, motherhood, and family, and the unexpected events that open our hearts to what really matters in life. This is about Claire Elias, who feels more than ready to conquer being a parent. She's already mastered the business world, running a flourishing chain of boutique flower shops. Her husband Mark is handsome, successful, supportive, and nearly a decade her junior. Claire's at the top of her game, so how hard can motherhood be? Then the babies come, both of them, and Claire finds herself in the midst of a crisis faced by every woman who's tried to have it all. So I am going to stop there, but this sounds really good. Then we've got, let's see, what's this? What She Left Behind by Ella Marie Wiseman. So I completely blame Lena's bookshelf for this, not because she recommended it, but because she loves a different book by Ella Marie Wiseman. So I decided to pick this up. This is, let's see. In the stunning new novel, the acclaimed author merges past and present into a haunting story about the nature of love and loyalty and the lengths we'll go to protect those who need us most. 10 years ago, Izzy Stone's mother fatally shot her father while he slept. Devastated by her mother's apparent insanity, Izzy, now 17, refuses to visit her in prison, but her new foster parents, employees at the local museum, have enlisted Izzy's help in cataloging items at a long-shuttered state asylum. There, amidst piles of abandoned belongings, Izzy discovers a stack of unopened letters, a decades-old journal, and a window into her own past. So this is then Clara Cartwright, 18 years old in 1929, is caught between her overbearing parents and her love for an Italian immigrant. So I don't know. I think the two stories probably converge. Lena, have you read this? Has anybody read this? I don't know. It's got the asylum setting, so maybe, I don't know. It sounds interesting. Then we have, let's see, The Bay at Midnight by Diane Chamberlain. So according to Goodreads, this is one that I have read and loved, but I kind of want to reread it. This is Her Family's Cottage was a place of innocence for Julie Bauer until her sister was murdered. It's been many years since that August night, but Julie's memories of Izzy's death still haunt her. I don't remember this book. Now someone from her past is asking questions about what happened. Yeah, I don't know. So I love Diane Chamberlain books. So this one is a chunker. Let's see, it's got a reader's guide and everything else, but it's almost 500 pages. So this one is one I want to reread if I have already read it. I maybe have read this in like 2012 when I first got Goodreads, because I don't remember it at all. Then we have Take Me There. This is a young adult, I think, about the ups and downs of love and friendship. Rhiannon is devastated after the breakup with her boyfriend and desperately wants him back. Love comes easy from Nicole. Her ex is still in the picture, pining for her, but she can't help having a new crush. Then there's James, hopelessly in love with his best friend Rhiannon, who's too blind to see that their friendship can be so much more. Just when things couldn't get more complicated, the school's resident mean girl decides she is intent on ruining everyone's life. James, Nicole, and Rhiannon are not going to let this slide, but will their desire to take down the mean girl bring these three friends exactly what they want? We'll see. I've been kind of craving some YA just because it's simple, easy, it's okay. So I think this is the same. The Last Boy and Girl in the World. I think this has pretty bad ratings on Goodreads, but it's by Siobhan Vivian, and I think I've read one by her that I liked. So it's not actually the end of the world, but it sure does feel that way to Keeley. What if your town was sliding underwater and everyone was ordered to pack up and leave? How would you and your friends spend your last days together? While the adults plan for the future, box up their possessions, and find new places to live, Keeley Hewitt and her friends decide to go out with a bang. There are parties in abandoned houses, canoe races down Main Street. The goal is to make the best of every minute until they have together. And that means taking one last shot at the boy she's loved forever. So I love kind of dystopian stories. This sounds really good. Even though it's got low ratings, I'm going to give it a shot. Then we have The Wednesday Sisters, which is another book that I think I've read and I really enjoyed, by Meg White Clayton. So my goal, like you guys can't see, but I have quite a bit of space above these shelves, and my husband is supposed to be building me floor-to-ceiling shelves, and then I will have like a full wall of bookshelves, and that sounds so cozy and comforting to me. And so I'm wanting to buy books that I loved. This is about 5 young mothers that meet in a neighborhood park in the 60s, and they love books. They talk about their kids, their husbands, all that kind of stuff. Then one evening, as they gather to watch Miss America, one of them admits she wants to write a novel, and the Wednesday Sisters Writing Society is born. So I loved this book when I read it and want to reread it and have a copy, so now I do. Then we have The Wedding Hitch by Claire McCauley. So she was so gracious in sending me both of her books, and this one was so good. And this is like a contemporary romance for people who want to like Regency but really don't. And it was really good. Really like it. Then my book of the month books. We have Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. Do I need to say anything about this? This is about two young boys who were having like a backyard camp out, and one of them went missing, and now it's 30 years later, and the one goes back, and things are still kind of going bump in the night. So what happened to his friend? I don't know. Then we have The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center, and my bookmark, which I have already read and really enjoyed, about a screenwriter who writes rom-coms and a guy who typically writes like sci-fi and wants to write a rom-com, and so they are working together. It's kind of an enemies to lovers, kind of a grumpy sunshine. I really liked our main character. I thought this was fun and cute. I know there's some mixed reviews on it, but I enjoyed it, so I got a copy. Then, I have skipped a couple months of book of the month, and then I've maxed out a couple months. So, The Love of My Afterlife, I actually plan to read this month if I can with Deca TBR-a-thon. This is about a woman who dies choking on a hamburger or something, and she's like in her PJs in this kind of limbo land. Now, do I believe in that? No, but she meets this like super dreamy guy in this limbo land, and then somebody's like, oh wait, he was a mistake. Let's send him back down to earth. So then I think she gets a second chance as well, and she's trying to find him in life. So I hope this is cute. It sounds cute. So there's that. Then we have Swan Song by Ellen Hildebrand. Really, I got this because it's not summer without an Ellen Hildebrand book. This is, I think, the fourth and final in her Nantucket series, which I haven't read the rest of, but now I've got this one. And then The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer. I really liked her first book, and so I wanted to get this. I think this is about, it's got a map in the front. Love a good map. Let's see. It's about, inspired by C.S. Lewis, The Chronicles of Narnia. It's a fairy tale for grown-ups who still knock on the back of wardrobes just in case. And so as boys, these two boys went missing in a forest, and they reappeared 6 months later with no explanation for where they were. 15 years later, one of them is a reclusive artist who still bears scars inside and out but has no memory of what happened. Meanwhile, the other one, which is named Jeremy, and that's my husband's name, so that's always interesting, has become a famed missing person investigator. With his uncanny ability, he's the one person who can help vet tech Emily Wendell find her sister, who has vanished in the very same forest. Yeah, Jeremy alone knows the fantastical truth. While the rest of the world was searching for them, the two missing boys were in a magical realm filled with impossible beauty and terrible danger. So I'm not a huge fantasy girly, but I really like The Wishing Game from her, so I'm going to try it, and I hope it's great. So that's my book of the month books. Now, I got this because of Keisha from A Book Like You, I think it's her channel, What the Bible's All About. And this is just an interesting commentary on the Bible. And I got this kind of to read while I was reading the Lineage of Grace by Francine Rivers, which is biblical fiction. But I always just love learning more, having more Bible commentaries. Can you ever have enough? I don't know. I feel like the answer is no. So I bought this. She said she really liked it. I really like how it's like tabbed. It's not tabbed, but it's kind of tabbed. So I haven't really cracked into this a whole lot, but I'm excited to look into it. Then we have The Hiding Place by Corey Ten Boom, and I feel like this is another one maybe that I saw on Krista from Books and Jams channel. Corey Ten Boom was a Dutch watchmaker who became a heroine of the resistance, a survivor of Hitler's concentration camps, and one of the most remarkable evangelists of the 20th century. In World War II, she and her family risked their lives to help Jews and underground workers escape from the Nazis, and for their work, they were tested in the infamous Nazi death camps. Only Corey among her family survived to tell the true story of how faith ultimately triumphs over evil. So, yeah, sounds heavy, but really good. Then we have Safe in My Arms by Sarah Shepard. So, I don't know why. As a mother of almost 4, I don't know why. I think like backpacks, kids' shoes, empty swings, all that kind of stuff is such a buzzword on books for me, and I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with me, but this is about Andrea, Lauren, and Ronnie. They arrive at the Silver Swans Nursery Academy welcome breakfast with past they want to hide. They already feel like imposters among the school's community of seemingly perfect, polished parents, and when notes appear in their child's backpack after the first day of school, they worry that someone knows their deepest, darkest secrets and wants them gone from the community. So I'm not going to read any more. I like the suburban mama drama and stuff like that. I really enjoy. Then I got this in a little free library, and it's Yoga Pant Nation by Lori Gelman. So this is a part of her Class Mom series, and obviously this is not the condition I would like it in, but it's the only one that I don't have, and I have read this one, but I want to have the whole series and like binge it all, and so I got this. If I ever come across a better copy, I will switch it out, obviously, but there's that. Then we have She Was the Quiet One by Michelle Campbell. So Michelle Campbell has been hit and miss. I did not like It's Always the Husband, but I feel like I have read other books by her. So this is about Sarah Donovan and her husband Heath. They become the new dorm heads of Moreland Hall and the prestigious Odell Academy. It seems like the chance they've been waiting for. After toiling away as low-level teachers for years, they can finally stop living paycheck to paycheck and start to work together to ensure a better future for their two small children. But the arrival of twins at the school throw their whole world into the kind of chaos that can only end in disaster. Total opposites, but both desperate for attention. The twins attach themselves to their dorm heads. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. The girls are also nice here. I've heard a lot about this one too, and so I grabbed it. A lot has changed in the years since Ambrosia Ann Wellington graduated from college, and she's worked hard to create a new life for herself. But then an invitation to her 10-year reunion arrives in the mail, along with an anonymous note that reads, "We need to talk about what we did that night." So I don't really want to talk any more about it or read any more about it, but because I can't remember who told me about this or where I heard about it, but it was in a little free library, so I grabbed it. Then we have The Woman in Me by Britney Spears. I have read this and loved it. I don't have the physical copy, and I wanted the pictures and stuff because I was definitely a Britney fangirl. I was Britney loyal. It looks like there actually aren't any pictures in here, but I have some other memoirs, and well, there's pictures on the front and back, which actually look like the same picture. So I don't know, but loved it. When I was a kid, I had her one of her tours on DVD, and I tried to memorize all the dances. I don't know why I'm sharing that to the entire internet, but there you go. Then we have 2 Denise Hunter books. So you guys know lately I've been wanting Christian fiction, wholesome stuff, and Denise Hunter normally fits the bill on that. So we have Dancing with Fireflies. Know nothing about it. Growing up in the Midwestern river town of Chapel Springs, Indiana, Jade felt like a weed in a rose garden. When she left, she thought she'd never look back. Now pregnant, alone, and broke, she has no other choice but to return. The mayor of Chapel Springs, Daniel Dawson, has been an honorary member of the McKinley family for years. While his own home life was almost non-existent, Daniel fit right in with the boisterous McKinley family, which is Jade's family. He's loved Jade for years, but she always thought of him as a big brother. Now that she's back, his feelings are stronger than ever. So, yeah, I don't know. I think this will be a sweet love story. And same with The Wishing Season. Let's see. She has this. Oh, this is another McKinley. So are these a Chapel Springs? So they're a part of the same series. I don't know what numbers these are, but this is about PJ McKinley. She wants to open her own restaurant, and somebody offers to buy her beloved ancestral home, and she thinks she was meant to win for her restaurant. I don't know. It's a relationship with a boy, a former foster kid, and he wants to win it for the home for foster kids. So it says in this competition, it's not just the house on the line, it's the hearts too. So sounds cute. Then we have Karen Kingsbury, A Time to Embrace. So this is the second in her Time to Dance series. And I have read them both and really enjoyed them, so I wanted a copy for my shelf. This is about a couple. So in the first book, the couple is on the brink of divorce, and we kind of watch them as they figure it out. And then this is them after that. One of them is in a tragic accident, and the love looks a little bit different. I will say there's a lot of miracles and things that happen in this book, so it's not very realistic, maybe, but it is heartwarming, I guess. Then we got Agatha, let's see, what is it? Because Agatha Arch is Afraid of Everything by Kristen Bear. So this is another one. It's definitely got very Finley Donovan-esque cover, but let's see. Her life is shattered when she discovers her husband in their backyard shed with giving the local dog walker heavy petting. Suddenly she finds herself face to face with everything that frightens her, and that's a long list. She keeps those she loves close. Everyone else keeps far away as possible. Let's see. To her husband, she's a saucy, no BS writer. To her Facebook mom group, she's a provocateur. To her neighbors, she's a standoffish pain in the butt. To her son, she's chocolate pudding with marshmallows. And to her shrink, she's a bundle of nerves on the brink of cataclysmic implosion. Defying her abundant assortment of anxieties, Agatha dons her spy pants, a pair of khakis whose many pockets she crams with binoculars, a fishing line, scissors, a flashlight, a Leatherman super tool, candy, other espionage essentials, and sets out to spy on her husband and the dog walker. Along the way, she finds another intriguing target to follow, a mysterious young woman who's panhandling on the busiest street in town. It's all a bit much for her, and let's see, with her Bear Grylls bobblehead, a trio of goats, and a dog named Balderdash, she may just find the courage she needs to build a better life. It sounds funny. Like, I chuckle multiple times reading the synopsis. That's a good start. Then I got, you guys, some Nicholas Sparks books, and I have probably unhauled these at some point because I thought I was done with Nicholas Sparks. And while I want, like, I don't know, I feel like with Nicholas Sparks, you know what you're going to get. And while they're not really, like, wholesome, they kind of are. I don't know. So I got 4 of them. Nights in Rodanthe. I have seen the movie. I don't know if I've read this book, but reeling with heartache after her husband abandons her for a younger woman, Adrienne Willis flees to the small coastal town of Rodanthe, North Carolina, to a friend's inn. Here she hopes to find the tranquility she so desperately needs to rethink her life. Almost as soon as she gets there, a major storm is forecast and a guest named Dr. Paul Flanner arrives. At 54, Paul has just sold his medical practice and is trying to escape his own shattered past. Now, with a fierce nor'easter closing in, 2 wounded people will turn to each other for comfort, and in one weekend set in motion feelings that will resonate through the rest of their lives. So there's that. Safe Haven. I don't even like movie tie-in covers, so why did I buy this? I don't know. Movie photos inside, great. A mysterious young woman named Katie appears in small North Carolina town of Southport. Her sudden arrival raises questions about her past. Beautiful yet self-effacing, Katie seems determined to avoid forming personal ties until a series of events draws her into 2 reluctant relationships, one with her plain-spoken neighbor Joe and another with Alex, a widowed store owner with 2 young children. She lets her guard down, puts roots in the community, and yeah, so as she falls in love, she struggles with the dark secret that still haunts her. So I don't think I've read this one or seen the movie, so there's that. And then same with Dear John. I don't know. I don't know. Dear John, the letter read, and with those 2 words, a heart was broken and lives changed forever. When Savannah Lynn Curtis comes into his life, John Tyree knows she is ready to turn over a new leaf. An angry rebel, he has enlisted in the army after high school, not knowing what else to do. Then during a furlough, he meets Savannah, the girl of his dreams. The attraction is mutual and quickly grows into the kind of love that leaves Savannah vowing to wait for John while he finishes his tour of duty, but neither can foresee that 9/11 is about to change the world. So, emotional, like they're emotional, they're heartbreaking, but you know what you're going to get, and that kind of like formulaic writing is kind of what I'm looking for lately. I missed one. The Lucky One, also a U.S. Marine. He finds a photograph of a smiling young woman half buried in the dirt during his tour in Iraq, and he experiences a sudden streak of luck, winning poker games and even surviving deadly combat. Only his best friend Victor seems to have an explanation for his good fortune. The photograph, his lucky charm. Back home in Colorado, he can't seem to get the woman in the photograph out of his mind, so he tries to find her. Yeah, I think I've read this one, but I can't remember. I feel like Nicholas Sparks books are not very memorable to me, but they're good enough in the moment. So then we have Next Year in Havana by Chanel Clayton. I've never read this one, and I've heard so much about it that I figured I would try it. It was 50 cents. So after the death of her beloved grandmother, a Cuban-American woman travels to Havana where she discovered the roots of her identity and unearths a family secret hidden since the revolution. So it's told in Havana in 1958 and Miami in 2017. So I've heard great things. Figured I'd give it a shot. Then we've got The World We Lost by Nicole Deese. Or The Words We Lost, I'm sorry. I picked this up because Nicole Deese is a Christian fiction author that I want to read more of. So this is as a senior acquisitions editor for Fog Harbor Books in San Francisco. So you got me. Between Nicole Deese and a bookish person, Ingrid Erickson has rejected many a manuscript for lack of defined conflict and dramatic irony, 2 elements her current life possesses in spades. In the months following the death of her childhood best friend and international best-selling author Cecilia Campbell, Ingrid has not only lost her ability to escape into fiction due to a rare trauma response, but she's also desperate to find the closure she's convinced will come with Cecilia's missing final manuscript. So, yeah, I am going to like this. I'm not going to read any more, but we'll see. Then we've got The All-American by Susie Finkbeiner, and this is 1952, about a girl who loves baseball. And so she wants to get married. Let's see, all the girls she knows wants to get married, have a house, raise kids, but she dreams of baseball. She reads every story in the sports section. She plays ball with the boys. She even writes letter to the pitcher for the Workington Sweet Peas. all part of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. And so then her father is accused of being part of the Communist Party. Life comes crashing down. Dreams are hard to kill, but she gets a chance to try out for the Workington Sweet Peas. And so she packs her bag for an adventure she'll never forget. So I really like this and think this would be a fun one to read. It's an interesting cover for sure. Then we have Across the Broken Shore by Amy Trueblood. So, okay, let me actually tell you, these books, yesterday, my husband and I, as a part of the summer reading program, we each got $5 to the library bookstore, which means 5 books. And so I got 8 books and 2 puzzles. So I'll show you the puzzles at the end of this. But so a lot of these are from that because they're all $1. So by golly. So this one is, if I wanted to study medicine, it would have to be done in secret. The last thing 18-year-old Wilhelmina McCarthy wants to do is be a nun. It's 1936, and as the only daughter amongst 4 sons, her Irish Catholic family is counting on her to take her vows, but Will has found another calling. Each day she sneaks away to help Dr. Catherine Winston in her medical clinic in San Francisco's Richmond district. Keeping secrets from her family only becomes more complicated when she agrees to help the doctor at a field hospital near the new bridge being built over the Golden Gate. So my family is from the San Francisco area, so that's kind of fun. And Willa thinks she can handle her new chaotic life, but as she draws closer to a dashing young iron worker and risks grow at the bridge, she discovers that hiding from what she truly wants may be her biggest lie of all. So, sounds good. A couple more. Plain Perfect by Beth Wiseman. So Beth Wiseman is another Christian fiction author. This is Daughters of the Promise novel. I've been trying Amish fiction lately, and I don't know how I feel about it, but this is about a search for peace in Amish country proves anything but simple for a woman on the run from life and herself. So Lancaster County, PA, Lillian Miller is searching for her grandparents' house and so much more. After years of neglect and abuse, she's turning to a lifestyle of simplicity among the Amish to find herself. As she discards the distractions of her former life, she befriends the young boy working on her family's farm and his attractive widowed father, Samuel Stoltzfus. Despite Lillian's best effort to the contrary, her feelings for Samuel and his for her deepen. So will she find her faith in plain living, or will she return to her former life? We'll see. My stacks are about to crash here, so we're going to keep going. Someday and let's see. Reunion. These are both by Karen Kingsbury, both part of series that I have yet to read. So I'm collecting them as I find them so I can just binge the whole series. So that's these two. Then we're almost done. We've got A Season for Daring Greatly by Ellen Emerson White. And my cousin actually has a daughter named Emerson White, so that's kind of interesting. But Jill McCafferty just made history. Jill Cafferty. She just made history. She's the first woman ever drafted by a Major League Baseball team. I didn't even know that. And this is like a baseball? Okay. She has to leave home and all her friends and her dog only days after her high school graduation, and she'll have her first night as a starting pitcher not long after that. Not everyone thinks she can do it. Not everyone thinks she should do it, and it doesn't help that the media are constantly there waiting for her to make a mistake. And all Jill wanted to do was play ball, not become a national role model. How can she ever live up to all the hype? Maybe she should have gone to college after all. So, I didn't know I got 2 women playing baseball books, but there we go. Now, we've got a few more hardbacks over here. We've got Danielle Steele's Flying Angels. So this is about, I think, 6 flight nurses who face the challenges of war and its many heartbreaks and victories as unsung heroes. And this is about Pearl Harbor. So that's why I got this. Kate in Waiting by Becky Albertalli. Break Your Leg, Not Your Heart. Let's see. This is, I think, another YA. Contrary to popular belief, best friends Katie Garfield and Anderson Walker are not codependent. Carpooling to and from theater rehearsals, environmentally sound and efficient. Consulting each other on every single life decision, basic good judgment. Pining for the same guys from far away, shared crushes are more fun anyway. But when Kate and Andy's long-lost distance crush shows up at their school, everything goes off script. So... I don't know. Sounds good. Then a Fannie Flagg book. I've read Fannie Flagg before and don't love them, but this one sounded good. I feel like this is like a frustration haul because some of these, I don't know why I bought them, and this one's heavy, but welcome to the world, baby girl. So I don't know if I'm having a girl or boy, but I thought this would be kind of fun. So this is a funny series and compelling new novel. Once again, Flagg's humor. Let's see. Colorful. So this is, let's see. Many inhabit small town or suburban America, but this time her heroine is urban, a brainy, beautiful, and ambitious rising star of 1970s television. Dina Nordstrom, pride of the network, is a woman whose future is full of promise, her present rich with complications, and her past marked by mystery. So I don't know. I don't know what this is about, honestly, but it sounds good to me. And then we have The 7-Day Switch. This is a book I really liked about 2 women who switch lives for 7 days. Hey. Then we've got The Hot Flash Club Strikes Again. I have the first in the Hot Flash Club series. It's about older women doing their thing. Sounds good. Then we have Angels Walking by Karen Kingsbury. Again, another, I think this is the number 1 in the Angels Walking series. I don't know if I have any more by her for this series, but maybe. There we go. Now, let me show you the 2 puzzles, and then we'll be done. Goodness gracious, I can't find space for all of these books. So hold on, let me grab the puzzles. Okay, so puzzles are also $1 at my library, which is great, and they had tons of them. So I let each kid pick one. So we've got this one, a bunch of cookies, because all of my puzzles, except for one, are like Christmassy and winter. I don't know why. I guess that's just when I do puzzles. But so we needed some non-Christmas. So one picked this one, bunch of cookies. And 500 is the biggest we've done so far, and I feel like it's been a good number, so that's good. Then this 1,000-piece puzzle of this little cottage in the fall. So I don't know. Sounds fun. We're going to be doing these. So far, I've been loving puzzling with my kids. They've actually been really helpful, and it's been really fun. So I have been loving it. So we'll see as time goes on if we continue to do those. But that is everything that I bought in July. It is so much, and now I have to go put all these away. So thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next one. Let me know if there's any of these I really need to prioritize. So thanks again. We'll see you in the next one.